Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, most gracious, ever merciful, honored guests and delegates of this, the 76th Jalsa Salana USA. Assalamu alaikum. This is the Islamic greeting of peace and blessings of God on all of you. On behalf of our community, welcome to this Jalsa, the nation's oldest and longest running American Muslim convention. Today, as America celebrates its 250th anniversary, we are delighted to convene this event for our friends. For over a century, since first taking root in America in 1920, Ahmadi Muslims have served their neighbors, spoken out for justice, and stood proudly by their country, guided by the belief that loyalty to one's nation is itself an act of faith. Indeed, the founder of Islam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, has said, the love of one's nation is a part of one's faith. And for this reason, alongside the Levaya Ahmadiyya, the flag of our community, the US flag, stands full staff in the entrance of our convention hall as a reminder of how grateful we are to be living in this beautiful country. The head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, has said, quote, sincere patriotism is a requirement in Islam. To truly love God and Islam requires a person to love his nation. So it is now my honor to introduce several special guests, dignitaries, public officials, and friends of our community. Our first speaker is the Honorable Joshua Cole. He is a member of the Virginia House of Delegates, representing the 65th District since 2024, which includes the historic city of Fredericksburg and stretches to the King George and Stafford County line. He has come previously to our Jalsas. We're very delighted to welcome him back to share his remarks and give a special presentation.
Assalamu alaikum. To the leaders of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, distinguished guests, fellow people of faith and friends, thank you for the gracious invitation to be with you today. As we gather here today on the United States of America's Independence Day to reflect on the theme, Peace Through Justice, Restoring the Promise of America, we are reminded that the American experiment has always been a work in progress. The 4th of July celebrates a declaration of liberty, but every generation has been called to ask a deeper question. Liberty for whom? Justice for whom? Peace for whom? As both a Virginia legislator and a Christian priest, I believe true patriotism is not pretending our nation has always gotten it right. True patriotism is loving our country enough to help it become what it has always claimed to be. That is why I find it fitting to remember the words of one of Virginia's own founders, Thomas Jefferson, who wrote, neither pagan nor Mohammedan nor Jew ought to be excluded from the civil rights of this Commonwealth because of his religion. Those words were revolutionary in their day, and they remain instructive even today. They remind us that religious liberty is not merely the freedom to worship privately, it is the freedom to participate fully in public life without fear or discrimination. And as a Christian, I stand here today because I believe our faith calls me to love my neighbor. And that neighbor may pray differently than I do, speak a different language than I do, or come from a different tradition. Yet our shared humanity, citizenship, is what binds us together. The prophet Isaiah envisioned a day when justice would bring peace. He said, the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness, and assurance forever. Peace is not simply the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of justice. Peace is dignity. Peace is equal opportunity. Peace is protecting the rights of every person to live according to their own conscience. If America is to restore its promise, It will not happen through fear or division. It will happen when Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and people of every faith and of no faith choose to stand together in defense of one another's freedom. That is the America our founders aspired to get to be. That is the America generations of civil rights leaders struggled to expand. And that is the America we are called to build together. May we live here committed not only to celebrating our independence, but continuing to extend its blessings to all. I want to thank you again for welcoming me to the Jalsa yet again. And on behalf of the entire House of Delegates, I would love to present to you all House Resolution number 2207, commending the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. May the God of Abraham bless our work together, strengthen our friendship, and lead us ever closer to justice, to peace, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Delegate Joshua Cole, for this tremendous honor from the Virginia House of Representatives. Our next speaker is Kurt Werthmuller. He is Supervisory Policy Analyst at the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, where his work focuses on religious freedom conditions in Egypt and the Levant. A scholar of Middle Eastern history and politics, he previously taught as associate professor at the American University in Dubai. He's written extensively on religious communities, identity, and governance in the region, holding a master's in Middle East Studies from Harvard. And he's working painstakingly for USERF, which is an independent government commission designed to improve religious freedom conditions for everyone, everywhere, including Ahmadi Muslims. I invite him to share his remarks.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you so much for the welcome here today. As Amjad said, my name is Kurt Werthmuller. I'm a supervisory policy analyst with the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, or USERF. I'd like to begin by thanking the Ahmadiyya Community USA for inviting me to participate in this year's Jalsa Salana on behalf of USERF, which is an independent, bipartisan U.S. legislative branch agency that monitors religious freedom abroad and makes policy recommendations to the President, the Secretary of State, and Congress. I'd also like to extend USERF's greetings and appreciation to His Holiness, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad. His leadership as Khalifatul Masih of the global Ahmadiyya Muslim community stands as a testimony to peace, coexistence, and resilience. If I may share a brief personal anecdote, I've been privileged to represent USERF at previous landmark occasions for the Ahmadiyya community, including the 2019 Jalsa Salana, which I'm pretty sure 7 years ago I didn't need my reading glasses to look down at my notes. And also the opening of the Beitul Ikram Mosque near Dallas, Texas in 2022. And of course, His Holiness presided over that latter event, where he granted an audience to a small number of special guests, including a local woman who had kindly offered her vacant adjacent property for parking for thousands of people who came to attend the opening of the mosque. During that small gathering, His Holiness made a point to take a few minutes during that audience to express to this woman his appreciation for this neighborly welcome. She was clearly touched and not just a small bit overwhelmed by his graciousness. And I've often pointed to this small but wonderful moment as truly illustrative of not only His Holiness's personal emphasis on kindness, but also of the wider Ahmadiyya community's dedication to showing care and respect for friends and for strangers alike. Yusuf thanks the Ahmadiyya community, all of you gathered here at the Jalsa Salana, as well as your global family of believers, for your tireless dedication to advancing the cause of peace, inclusive coexistence, and religious freedom for all, often in the face of significant adversity. Yusuf continues to stand with you to bear witness to the suffering of many of your brothers and sisters around the world, and to advise the United States government on how to better bring accountability to the perpetrators of their anguish. I wish that I could stand here today, some 7 years after I last did so, to congratulate the Ahmadiyya community on finally seeing an end to such suffering. But Yusuf recognizes the unfortunate reality of the severe religious repression that so many Ahmadiyya Muslims continue to suffer. Our 2026 annual report highlighted those challenges in Pakistan, Libya, Indonesia, and elsewhere. And our Frank R. Wolf Freedom of Religion or Belief Victims List, which is a publicly available list of FORB prisoners, includes profiles of 17 Ahmadiyya Muslims who remain in prison to this day, all in Pakistan. Indeed, it's no surprise that Pakistan remains the world's most repressive environment for the Ahmadiyya community. Yusuf has followed reports just this year of Pakistani authorities preventing Ahmadiyya Muslims from openly celebrating Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, including Punjabi police forcibly evacuating Ahmadiyya worshippers from mosques, and Karachi police confiscating goats to prevent their full celebration with their families of Eid. This repression marks a consistent pattern by Pakistani authorities to ban Ahmadiyya Muslims from participating in these celebrations, following the use in prior years of what they called preventative arrests. It's a deeply concerning trend within an already desperate situation, as is the persistent impunity for mobs who carry out violence against the community. The theme of this year's Jelsa, of course, is Restoring America's Promise. My commission, by legislation, that is, by law, cannot talk about domestic issues here within the United States, but I can make a promise to your community, and that is that the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom will continue to unflinchingly call out these injustices, as we do for all people who suffer for what they believe or for what they don't believe. I again thank you for this opportunity to speak today on behalf of Yusuf, and we wish you, your families, and your community around the world peace, safety, and of course, religious freedom for all. Thank you.
We thank Kurt and all of the great work the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, first-rate work that helps our advocates and helps our Ahmadi Muslim brothers and sisters on the ground who are suffering. Ahmadi Muslims are deeply committed to the promotion of peace, freedom, loyalty to country, and service to humanity. In 2011, our community established an annual Ahmadiyya Muslim Humanitarian Award to recognize the services and contributions of individuals who selflessly strive to assist oppressed and disadvantaged communities around the world. By being an advocate for these communities, these individuals protect and safeguard fundamental and universal human rights. This year, we're delighted to honor the work of United States Congressman Greg Casar of Texas. U.S. Congressman Casar is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives since 2023, where he serves Texas's 35th district. He previously served on the Austin City Council from 2015 to 2022. He is chair of the Progressive Caucus in the United States Congress. Congressman Casar has been a principled advocate for human rights, the rule of law, and justice for all communities. He has spent his entire congressional career defending the rights of the oppressed and vulnerable, and his work championing peace is widely known. We honor Congressman Casar this year with the 2026 Ahmadiyya Muslim Humanitarian Award. Last week, we presented the award to him in his office on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and we ask our MTA team to play highlights from that presentation and his video message to the Jelsa delegates.
So on behalf of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, United States of America, I am honored to present you with this annual Humanitarian Award for all of the work that you've done here in Congress with regards to the persecution of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Pakistan, as well as your principal stand on peace in the Middle East, your work for and your stand on the war to Gaza. And so we're really proud to have you as our congressman in Texas. Our community looks up to you, and I hope the best in the future for you as well.
Oh, the issues of politicians are small compared to what I know people are suffering in our country and around the world. And so thank you all for your example of love for all and hatred for none, and standing up for people's rights here and all over. And you know, the genocide in Gaza has been devastating, and my hope is that we get to a place where we're spending our money and our time as a powerful nation lifting people up instead of arming conflicts like that one. So thank you for this. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hi everyone, it's Greg Casar. I represent the heart of Texas and the United States Congress, and I'm so honored to receive the Ahmadiyya Muslim Humanitarian Award this year. I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you in person, but I didn't want to miss any opportunity to say thank you so much. I am so honored by this recognition. I know you and your community from my time in Texas, whether it's blood drives or planting trees or during disaster relief. Your community, my friends and neighbors, have always showed up to take care of one another. I also know that your community has faced real persecution, and I want you to know that I will continue to stand up against bigotry in all its forms. And lastly, I deeply appreciate your advocacy for peace and human rights, and I was given, alongside the award, this pin of love for all and hatred for none. And whether it is standing up for human rights on the United States border or within the United States or in Pakistan or in Gaza, just know that your advocacy makes such a huge difference, and I'll continue to stand with you and other peacemakers throughout our country and throughout our world. So again, I'm just so grateful and honored for you, and thank you for the award. I also want to congratulate you on over 70 years of this longest running convention for Muslim Americans, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your convention and a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much.
We thank Congressman Casar and we honor him with the Humanitarian Award this year. Our next speaker is Knox Thames. Knox is Executive Director of the Everett Center for Global Religious Freedom at Dallas Baptist University. An international human rights lawyer, advocate, and author, he has spent more than 2 decades advancing religious freedom and defending persecuted religious minorities. He previously served in the U.S. State Department as Special Advisor for Religious Minorities in the Near East and South and Central Asia under both the Obama and Trump administrations. He's a very dear friend of mine. I've worked with him very closely for many years. He is the foremost expert on religious freedom in my mind in the country in so many respects, and we're delighted to welcome Knox back to Jelsa.
What a beautiful way to celebrate the exceptionalism and beauty of America, to come here to talk about our shared value of religious freedom with my Ahmadiyya Muslim friends. So thank you, Amjad, for this invitation. And it's so appropriate that we're doing so today on the 250th anniversary of our nation and in the capital of Virginia, as it was two founding fathers from Virginia who shaped our nation's understanding of religious freedom for all, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. So this July 4th, we should be re-inspired to cherish and defend and live out together the founding principles that they set forth. So George Washington, he set a high bar. Just months into office as the first president of the United States, he visited the city of Newport, Rhode Island in August 1790. The warden of the Truro Synagogue actually wrote President Washington to welcome him and express appreciation for his leadership. George Washington wrote him back a few days later, and he shared expansive thoughts about how these new United States would view citizens of different backgrounds. He stated forthrightly that, quote, all possess alike liberty of conscience and immunities of citizenship. Mere toleration would not be enough. He dismissed any implication that rights were dependent on, quote, the indulgence of one class of people over another. In other words, Washington said that one's faith would not affect a citizen's rights towards equality. And in the most quoted passage, he proclaims, quote, for happily the government of the United States gives to bigotry no sanction, to persecution no assistance. Many early immigrants came to the United States fleeing religious persecution. Records indicate that the synagogue's congregation had come from Europe with its consistent anti-Semitism and pogroms. They had fled persecution. They had felt it, much like Ahmadiyya Muslims are experiencing now in Pakistan. And while Washington's letter expressed the views of the first chief executive, Thomas Jefferson had been exploring these ideas years before. While in law school, we know that he purchased a copy of the Quran, and based on future events, he most likely consulted it, as when president, he delayed a state dinner to accommodate the Ramadan fast. But Jefferson grew up here in Virginia and saw the tension with church-state issues. During the colonial period, the Church of England was the established religion, and historians note that all Virginians were legally required to attend church once a month and to tithe. It was government-enforced piety. However, as many Virginians turned to the Baptist denomination, authorities, both governmental and ecclesiastical, did not condone, and unlicensed Baptist preachers faced fines and jail, and mobs would assault their tent services. And it was in response that Thomas Jefferson wrote the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, which made clear the rights of conscience for all. It begins with this powerful opening phrase, quote, whereas Almighty God hath created the mind free. Jefferson's statute prohibited government interference in religious affairs, all because of his concern about the treatment of religious minorities. The final version was passed in 1786, which inspired the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, whose drafter was another Virginian, James Madison. But the Virginia statute was a declaration of independence for religious freedom, putting forth revolutionary ideas for America and the world. So Washington and Jefferson, they laid a firm foundation for the United States, building a new polity based on values rather than blood. Certainly glaring inconsistencies with their personal lives regarding slavery shock the conscience today. But what they established was good. It has served us well. It has been a North Star. So from the beginning, religious freedom has been inextricably intertwined into the American experiment. But while a foundation stone, we certainly have work to do here at home to combat racism, anti-Muslim hatred, anti-Semitism, and other forms of discrimination. Yet, we should be proud about how the United States truly stands apart because of the religious liberty protections we have here. I've visited many of the broken places of this world. I've seen how authoritarian regimes will persecute individuals for how they pray or what they believe or don't believe. And I've seen how your community is horribly persecuted through laws and violence in Pakistan. Every American, every day, should thank God that we live in the US of A in the 21st century, and for the great blessings of liberty and prosperity He has bestowed on us. But those Thanksgivings force us to ask a question. What should we do with those blessings? How should we steward them? I believe the principle of loving our neighbors, both here and abroad, should guide our response. What's wonderful is how we all revere Jesus and we all agree in love of neighbor. I so appreciate your slogan, love for all, hatred for none. And as a Christian, I'm commanded by Jesus Christ to love my neighbor, both persecuted fellow Christians, but also others like persecuted Ahmadiyya Muslims. We're called to help everyone, even those from other faiths. Now, of course, we shouldn't pretend that Christians and Muslims agree on every theological point, but we can agree that coercion, persecution, and violence violate human dignity. We can agree that it's wrong, and we can, as Americans and people of faith, agree to do something about it. Towards this, in April, I took up the leadership of the new Everett Center for Global Religious Freedom. It's an initiative of Dallas Baptist University, and we operate on campus in Texas and in Washington, D.C., where I am based. The center's mission is to inspire and equip students, churches, and policymakers to advance religious freedom for all. We want to help persecuted Christians, of course, but we're also called to help others who are facing persecution. And so our new center is committed to fighting for your religious freedoms, for my religious freedoms, for everyone's religious freedoms. In Dallas, we've convened Christians, Jews, Baha'is, and Muslims, including Ahmadiyya Muslims, with representatives from the United Nations. We've launched a prayer and advocacy campaign about persecuted Christians and Uyghur Muslims in China. And we hosted Amjad last year via Zoom at our annual gathering so that Christians could learn about Ahmadiyya persecution and pray that God would provide protection and rescue to your community. But we've got to work together. We can't do it alone. The problem's too big. And here at home, we must push back when others want to pull us away from these foundational values. So if we want a society that gives to bigotry no sanction and to persecution no assistance, then Christians must defend mosques, Muslims must defend synagogues, Jews must defend churches, and Americans must defend fellow Americans regardless of what they believe. Washington and Jefferson, these two great Virginians, these two great Americans, gave us the architecture and an example that still works 250 years later. But we can't be passive. We must continually commit to the challenge of defending religious freedom for everybody, everywhere, all the time. And that's the hard work before us. But thankfully, we know that God, in his wisdom, will guide our efforts if we seek his will. So may our shared commitment as Americans and people of faith inspire us to help others, regardless of their beliefs, every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Knox, for those inspiring words and beautiful reflections. A few days ago, just a day before yesterday, in partnership with the city of Richmond, our community continued our Jelsa Cares community outreach initiative for the third straight year. This initiative is in keeping with the true essence and spirit of Jalsa Salana. We serve the most needy in our neighborhoods as a part and parcel of Jalsa Salana. We partnered with RVA Community Fridges to donate food and resources to tackle food insecurity in the city. We wanted to play a short video that highlights some of the activities that took place in this very Jalsa Salana just day before yesterday, and I asked the MTA team to please cue that video.
I just got off the road. I haven't been to sleep, been on the road 14 hours. I came in here and I saw this amazing hive of honey. And I saw all of these worker bees putting together these cone tables for this community.
We started in the city of Harrisburg, and for the last 3 years, this is our third year, we're hosting this effort in the city of Richmond. And this morning, mashallah, by Allah's grace and mercy, over 50 volunteers, young and old, got together and decided to do this community build project with the tool bank. And alhamdulillah, we were able to complete those park benches, and they will soon be donated to the city. So a very humble project, but one that serves the city in the long term.
Today, we'll be able to touch all of the city because you've built 10 benches that we can then put out through the entire city. So this bench won't go in one park, it will go in 10 parks. And that has us the ability to reach all council districts, all areas of the city. And so I think it's pretty powerful.
Thank you for living out your faith in beautiful ways. That is really amazing to see thousands of people come here and hundreds of people deployed as volunteers serving this city. Service is such an important pillar of what we've tried to cultivate across the city, and it's amazing to have friends and neighbors who come here to Richmond and share in that commitment to service.
It warmed my heart. I'm 74 years old. I was born in Jamaat Ahmadiyya. And I looked around and saw all of these youth who I have shoes and neckties older than them, and it was heart-rendering, heartwarming, and I'm just delighted to be here. By the way, I worked on wood years ago. I went around checking the levels. Not one level was off. Everything was on the bubble. Love for all, hatred for none.
In addition to that, we're giving meals to all of the underserved communities and districts in the city of Richmond, and donating these park benches as well. And so this is our humble effort to give back.
We've seen the need for meals and having the fridges stocked consistently grow since 2020, especially with the economy and this heat wave. It seems like the community is in a struggle to consistently get food. And I think for the fridges, our biggest thing is just making sure we can do that.
And whenever I work with you all, from last year to this year, there's just an oversensing, it builds you up and makes you feel like this is what we all are about. We're about community that cares about each other, improving our community, working together, showing compassion and being there. When we sat down and ate last year, it was just powerful to me. And if everyone can have that experience and realize that we all are giving our gifts, our talents, for this city and all of our communities from when you leave here, it's so impactful and so meaningful. So I just want to thank you all.
One of the things, besides the continual kindness and gentleness and generosity of the group, that we are also most thankful for is it has brought us the ability to partner with their local mosque. They're including us in their interfaith iftars and things like that. So we're so thankful for that regular partnership.
I'm very passionate about direct service and really giving the community what they need when they need it. And I feel like you all, every year that we've been working together, have made sure that we are fulfilling that promise and that need.
Jalsa Salana is a sacred institution, a spiritual gathering, but a part and parcel of it, in the best tradition of the promised Messiah al-Islam, is to serve the community. We thank Mayor Dania Vula, who joined us a few days ago but couldn't be here today, for his valuable partnership for Jelsa Cares, and we look forward to continuing this effort. And so our final speaker for today's session is Christopher Frelke, who you saw on the video. He's been one of our key supporters at the City of Richmond for Jelsa Cares. He serves as director of the City of Richmond Department of Parks, Recreation, and Community Facilities. He leads a team of over 200 people, responsible for more than 2,800 acres of parkland, community centers, rec programs, cemeteries, and public places in this city. With more than 25 years of experience in this space, he is dedicated to building strong community partnerships, expanding equitable access to parks and recreation, and promoting service that strengthens neighborhoods throughout Richmond. I've gotten to know Chris, and he is a truly special person who's serving the city. We're delighted to have him here at Jalsa Salana.
Good afternoon and welcome to Richmond. We are thrilled to have you in our city. We are happy to help you celebrate your 76th Jalsa Salana, but we hope to help you celebrate many, many more in our city. We are thrilled to have you here today. I brought talking points, but I decided I wanted to speak from the heart, because when I think of you all and your faith, it warms my heart. The interaction that we have had with Jelsa Cares has been truly amazing for our city, but it's just the talents and the gifts that you bring to us are outstanding. You come to our city and want to help make it better. You go to your own communities and are doing this great work. The story of your faith is the story of America, because what you all are trying to do is make your community better. You love your neighbor. You teach us all the wonderful thing of peace. Your motto of love all, hatred for none is something that should embody all of our hearts and souls. To me, like others have said today, I cannot imagine a better way to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country without a celebration of what you all are doing here, celebrating your faith, celebrating your belief in this country, celebrating your pride in what we are as United States citizens, but also the hope for tomorrow, how we can together change our community. You guys do that daily. I see that in the actions when you come to our community and all the things that you do to help support us. Together, we are stronger as one community, and you all show that and you represent that. I'm just honored that I could come here today. I'm honored to be able to speak on behalf of that, and I'm so proud that you have selected Richmond to be your city to do this. And I'm so thankful for all the wonderful work that you do for us and all the contributions we get to share. So this is a big moment to thank you all for being here. I hope you will return for many years to come because you are a wonderful faith community to have. And whenever I am with you all, it helps embolden my faith. I feel stronger. We're all connected as one brotherhood, no matter who we pray to. We share similar beliefs and similar faiths, and we all want to do better. And you guys are always a constant reminder when I have the ability to contact and work with you all on some of these amazing projects that we've done in our city. Thank you all.
Thank you, Director Frelke, for those kind words, and we look forward to future partnerships with Jelsa Cares. I just wanted to give some final acknowledgments and turn it back to the chair. As a community, we have a history of receiving bipartisan support for our Jelsa from members of U.S. Congress and other dignitaries and officials. This year is no different. We received a lot of outpouring of messages and videos and proclamations from public officials, too many for us to play during this Jelsa, but I wanted to thank the Governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, for his Jelsa message, Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Ghazala Hashmi, for her message, and the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, for his message. All of their messages have been posted on our social media handles and our YouTube page for all of you to enjoy. To all of our guests, we thank you for coming today, but please stay and go to room E11C, E11C. It's about a 5 or 6 minute walk. There's a hospitality reception. We look forward to all of our guests to attend that reception, and our team members are standing by to escort you there. I now turn the program back to our chair.
Thank you. I just want to appreciate our guests for their comments and for honoring us today. Thank you very much. That concludes this session. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.